to Saxthorpe Farm, and we are into August, and we are making an early start on the silage harvest. So I did decide to silage the corn. It's obviously a bit later than I would normally do that, but need to make that money, and silaging it is going to be more profitable. So although for most of this series I've been playing pretty strictly on ×5 through the video, I'm going to be juggling it about a bit because I'm messing with 3 tractors running auto drive. So, you know, things don't always run as smoothly as you would like. It wasn't awful, but it certainly wasn't perfect. So yeah, going to be a little bit of juggling the clock, just trying to get a sensible amount of work done in the day rather than being strict on either ×5 or running the clock slow until I finish. So spoiler alert, we are not going to finish this field in this game day. So it's a pretty big field and a pretty small forage harvester. So one thing that I have done is I have updated the forage harvester since last time we used it, so that it now does work with silage additive. Although it had a silage additive tank, it was missing the line of XML to actually utilize silage additive, which, you know, is kind of an important thing. You know, you need to actually be able to use it as well as put it in. So have fixed that, and it's working fine now, which is cool. So we be getting that extra 10%, is it, for having silage additive? Yeah, it's a nice little forage harvester. You know, it makes a change from using the New Holland one, which I used a lot, and it was cheaper than using one of the kind of older class ones maybe, which were another option. But yeah, so I've updated the multi-fermenter. We've already got 65,000 litres in. I have also got the Fendt running a couple of harvesting contracts, and I've got the Volvo lorry doing the carting for that. So at the moment we don't have enough tractors. I'm getting a weird sound coming through, which I will have to check when I do the editing. My headphones are screwing up at the moment. I don't have enough tractors to be able to make use of the words are hard at the moment. Yeah, my headphones are a bit messed up. To make use of having an auger wagon and doing this job, because it's a relatively long cart back to the yard. Yeah, I've totally screwed up this this ear thingy for my headphones. I need to find the, actually I know where it is. I've got some spares, so I just need to get the case out. Yeah, it's a long enough cart back that having 3 tractors on this job made sense to me. We could probably have got away with 2 if things were running super smoothly, but early on they definitely weren't. So I was doing a bit of experimentation with auto drivers. I did this in terms of how to set up the field bits of an auto drive course. So we also had a lot of this early on, that the tractor wouldn't run in the bit that I'd harvested. It would just run straight into me. In the end, I found if I just kept going, and I had, quite often it would be the Agrostar that would do it, and at that point I would usually have something like the 7250 behind me, and the 7250 would kind of push me through, and we'd just power through and push that out of the way. Yeah, I know, it worked. So yeah, so what I ended up doing, which worked quite well in the end, was I did the side route lap around the field. I had the waypoint on that, and I had a loop coming off that to run out of the field as well. And then what I did, which is something that I've not really messed with a lot, is I set auto drive to exit by the closest point. And because there is a route around the field, quite often what it would do is just jump on that route and run around the field and straight out. It turned out to be much more effective, and auto drive is kind of showing off now. After being annoying, it's showing its reverse karting skills, which are pretty good, to be honest, for an algorithm, you know. So yeah, but basically today we're just going to be getting through this job. It's It's pretty, it's a pretty big field, and it's a pretty small harvester. I think it's like a 3 and a bit meter header. So yeah, if I'd really thought about this, I'd maybe have picked up a second one. Long term, that's something we definitely need to look to upgrade. We're probably going to be doing a field of silage every year now, at least one. So with how many fields we've got now anyway. So I think probably it's worth maybe picking up either a second one of these or a bigger one. Maybe I'll have a look at some of the old class ones, like I used on Glenlarvan, and see if we can get something slightly bigger. You know, like 6 meters even would be nice. I did get to the point where I pondered breaking out one of the combines with the corn header and just finishing the field off that way, but as I said, I do want to maximize the amount of money we're going to make, and that's going to come from silaging it. So yeah, and silaging is one of my favorite bits of farm sim. I prefer it to, so you can see the lorry just going off in the distance as we cut into the field. I prefer it to normal combining, but it takes quite a long time, and I find it doesn't always make the best video. I don't know. You can let me know that, what you think, but I find it quite hard to record an engaging video because the job of silaging, it just takes a long time. And it's not like doing, you know, like bales where you mow, you windrow, you bale. It's one job, you know. Particularly as we're going into a fermenting silo, we're not even doing any compaction in the bunker silos. So yeah, that's something to look around at the cab. It's not a bad model for, I'm pretty sure this came off of somewhere like King Mods. I'm not entirely sure where I got it from. It was a recommendation from one of the guys on Discord. And it's a very interesting brand that I'm not going to go into again. If you don't know the heritage of that name, Google it. You'll learn something. History is important. Or we could go controversial. So one of the things that it was more over the last few years, it seems to have died down a bit now. So almost finished combining that field. History exists. You know, it happened. And this is not an example that I really want to highlight it on, because it gets very controversial. But there was a lot of stuff over the last few years of people wanting to kind of erase history. There was the statue that was pushed into the water in Bristol of a famous slave trader. And, you know, you can't delete that those things happened in history. What we need to do is learn from them. And, you know, if you try and delete them, how do we remember and learn from them in the future? Now, you know, short term, not a problem. But if you delete it from history now, in 5 generations' time, 10 generations' time, yeah. So, you know, we do need to learn from history, and that's all I've got to say about that, really. A little bit of a Forrest Gump moment there, maybe. I'm not sure. It's Friday, and it's been a long week, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. The teenager's coming home, which is kind of cool. It's a bit of a surprise. We didn't expect her to come home quite so early, so she's going to be back later today. That'd be good. Be nice to see her. We're in the process of redecorating / reorganizing her bedroom, so she doesn't actually have anywhere to sleep at the moment. Last weekend we cleared out a bunch of kind of grungy old furniture and stuff, so yeah, she's going to be on the camp bed for the weekend, but we did warn her of that. So auto drive got a bit confused over here, so we are going to use a little bit of super strength to fix things. And so the truck is screaming out for a repair. So usually I have auto drive set so that it won't repair, but so that it will refuel, because I think that's a really cool feature. Unless you're running something like a combine with a massive header. I did have that problem on some stuff that I was doing off camera with this setup. So yeah, I'm going to disable them both. When when the truck runs back to the farm, I'll jump in and we'll repair it and refuel it. So I've got one cut-in going so far. Because I'm using auto drive, what I end up doing, and you'll see it in a bit, is I run multiple cut-ins. And the reason that I do that is that it makes it easier to manage turning the carting tractors with auto drive. Because basically you always want to try and keep them on your outside as much as possible. And with a cut-in like this, they will run on your inside. So if I wanted to run back up the other side of the cut-in, I'd have to turn into the carter. That generally doesn't work well. So what I do is, quite often anyway in these situations, is I will run 2 cut-ins. So we'll see that in a bit. But first we are going to tip the soybeans off this harvesting contract and then get the truck repaired and refueled. So I think I get through the best part of 3 harvesting contracts while I'm doing this work. That big combine really does chew through fields quickly, and everything is being tipped in the farm silo because I'm saving the game. I'm logging out, I'm logging back in. I didn't want the contracts to get lost, so what I'll do is at the end, probably once I've finished doing the silage harvest, or in the next game day anyway, I'll sort out delivering for all the contracts. We'll get auto drive running that because that works quite well. But yeah, a couple of grand to repair the truck. We'll do the trailer while we're at it because trailers are generally pretty cheap. Still don't think there's any disadvantage to not repairing a trailer other than if you're a bit OCD and you don't like the repair bar going. So we do need to get some more fuel, and I keep picking up the jet washer, which is a bit annoying. And I guess in reality it's probably a really bad place to put the jet wash because you wouldn't be... What I do in game is quite often I will jet wash while I'm refueling, which you really wouldn't do. But yeah. Don't tell anyone. It'll be fine. So you will have noticed, maybe, there haven't been any Terra live streams the last couple of weeks. There are a couple of reasons for that. And you might have noticed there aren't any German ones either. So the first one is Paul is taking a bit of a break from streaming, and I kind of don't really feel like it at the moment either. So I'm in another week of having headaches again. They've come back, which is a bit annoying. I had got so that I had about 2 weeks of feeling not too bad, and the weather's changed here, and that could be it. It's quite stormy, and so yep. So don't particularly feel like doing live stuff at the moment. Do like this camera review. Doing live stuff I find much more difficult than doing pre-recorded stuff. So there's that. And also they're kind of at a point, well, I think the guys are kind of at a point with Terra Life where they are pushing to get some stuff done so that there will be a lot more to show soon. So yeah, we'll let you know when they're going to come back, but for now they're kind of paused. I know next week I won't be doing one because I'm away on Thursday night. So you might notice at the bottom of the screen I now have it's showing how much maize was in the harvester, and I'll talk about that again in a moment because we have filled the first fermenting silo. Last time when I did this, I put in Cartex bale bunker silo thing. This time I'm going to stick in another fermenter because we still have a lot of the field to harvest, and this will essentially give us 2 million litres worth of capacity, because we can have 500,000 litres of fermented in each and 500,000 litres of unfermented in each. And this is where I said that we're not going to finish the field today, because what I'm going to do is we'll get these filled up, and then I'm going to let them ferment, and then we'll come back and finish the field when we've got some more space. Slightly cheaty maybe, but you know, basically as it ferments, it's going to compress and there'll be more room. Let's go with that. So I need to get rid of a couple of trees, and I don't have a chainsaw yet, so we're going to buy a chainsaw and then we're going to sell a chainsaw because I don't actually need it on here. But I'm going to use the lumberjack mod to get rid of a couple of trees. Don't see the point in spending the time to sell them, so we'll just get these chopped down, and I'm going to put the fermenter on the corner here. I did have a bit of a brainwave after we sell the chainsaw, which we'll get to see. And it kind of links to some stuff that I also considered. So I might show it. I'm not sure. I was pondering putting in a bulk silo to just tip the unfermented maize into and then shuffle it back into the fermenter as we had space. But the silos that I had that would fit, I didn't think fit the look of the farm, whereas I think that fermenter does. So we need to borrow some money. Again, we should be able to pay it back pretty quick because we've got these contracts running. So not really a problem. We're just going to do it as a short 1 year loan because I'm hoping to instantly repay it rather than actually sit on it. So it's just I haven't completed any of the contracts yet. So yeah. I think this is one of my mods that I've used the most. I'm using it on here. I'm using it on Barley Spring. And this is where I have the brainwave. I thought, I wonder if the silo is a bulk silo. Because I'm not sure actually. I can't remember if it's a base game asset or if it's one that Farms and Briscoe has included and edited a bit at this point. So we're just going to go and see if we can tip it in here. Because if we can do that. We can just store the fresh in the silo and then move it when we're ready. I mean, they're essentially the same thing, aren't they? They're just grain bins. But alas, we cannot. So I am going to put in the fermenter. Just because we need to keep clearing the field. I could just, kind of go really slow. We've got 6 game days to harvest this field. What I could have done, because the multi-fermenter will ferment about 300,000 litres a month. So what I could have done, I could let this ferment and then gone and done more other stuff while it ferments. Come back, harvest some more, repeat. So yeah, this is the silos that I was thinking about putting in, the wooden ones. I think these are the ones we used on the Western Wilds. I used them in FS19 a fair bit because they're really cheap and hold a lot. But I didn't think the aesthetic fit in with the farm. So we are going to put in the multi-fermenter, which I think does fit. So it's just because I'm on the corner of the map, seeing things is really difficult. It'd be really nice to have a much freer camera in placement mode, but I guess it's limited by stuff with console and things. So, speaking of console, I have almost everything to be able to start playing FS and recording it on the PlayStation 4. So, I'm just going to set up some auto drive stuff now to actually make this work. Got a pretty cheap capture card. I've not tested it yet, but it's got really good reviews. Got loads of good reviews on YouTube from people who I trust. Got good reviews from Mark, who I also trust. Got a splitter because I kind of need to split the signal so I can have it displayed on a display display and then captured on the computer. I'm missing a few HDMI cables, so getting those. And then Mr. CDP posted some really cool news. Or did a video on some really cool news this week that FS22 is going to be on the PlayStation Plus Pass, whatever it is, as a free game. So I'm going to get a month of that. We can play FS for a month on PlayStation and I don't have to buy the game. If for whatever reason, when that runs out, I need to, I'll buy the game. But that's pretty close. I'm not sure how it's going to fit in with the schedule and stuff, but I'm really looking forward to the fun and frustration that it's going to bring. Frustration for me, probably fun for you guys, as I stumble my way through trying to play FS without all of the things that I like. So, and not really like, easy dev controls, auto drive, course play, all those fun things that Maze Plus, precision farming we can have. So I will be having precision farming on there. I've not decided which map I'm going to play on yet. If you have any particulars you would like to see me play on, stick a comment below. I'm contemplating Court Farms. I think I've said this already. for the clickbaitiness of it being Court Farms. I'll see what else is about at the time. So if there are any interesting looking other new maps, I might use those. I'm not particularly tied to playing Court Farms. I've not played it yet, so yeah. So you can see now we've got essentially 3 cut-ins that I'm just gradually working on, kind of widening the cut-in, narrowing the crop away, and it generally works quite well. There is a bit of faff about with the tractors sometimes on the turn. Sometimes they do it really well, sometimes they don't, but the stuff that this is doing is still incredible. Most people complain a bit about auto drive, but in reality, it's doing magic. It's really good. So we're into field 16 now with the harvesting contracts. There are 2 more left after that. We're not going to get those both done in this game day, but it's really nice having, I could have the other 2 combines out as well. We don't have anything to cart for them. I really want to get I had said I wasn't going to sell the 2 small combines. I'm very tempted for our next upgrade in kit to sell the 2 combines and buy a big combine, because it'll just make things a bit easier. So come back to refill with silage additive and fuel, but I'm now going to mention, you may have seen that there's a fill display for maize for a forage harvester. You don't normally see that. When I was messing about adding in the ability to use silage additive, I spotted that you can turn that on, and I was just curious what it would look like and how it would behave, particularly if the forage harvester kept filling up, if you kept going when there wasn't a trailer available, and it doesn't. So that's kind of interesting, because that suggests to me you're losing the crop. I always thought it went into like a magical invisible hopper, but it seems like it doesn't. So that was kind of interesting. It didn't even seem to behave like there was a small buffer. There's a little bit, but only with the tractor so close. It's really weird how it works. I'm going to give this a quick wash, although it gets dirty very quickly again whilst we refuel. Yeah, you can see it's instantly dirty again. But yeah, it's really weird how it behaves. If the tractor's close-ish, it will fill up a bit. If the tractor's not, it won't. So I don't know how that's set up in the game, but I was kind of curious. Particularly, I was getting a bit frustrated at one point with auto drive being a bit slow, in terms of the carters replacing each other. This is it working really well. As I got deeper into the field, it got better. I think if I had a bigger forage harvester, it would have got better quicker, because we would have opened up more space. Yeah, but I was kind of thinking that maybe I would have given it some sort of capacity so that I could keep going, and then when the trailers caught up, it would dump in. Didn't do that in the end. So here's the Fent working away in a nice big field of wheat. We are dropping straw, but I'm not going to bale it because we've got enough other jobs to do and not enough kit. So let's talk about animals again, because that's a recurring topic on here. I have decided that I'm not going to focus on animals until we buy the cow farm. What I want to focus on is buying more kit so we can work things quicker. Whether that's, there are a whole load of cultivating contracts at the moment. I've accepted them. I don't have a tractor to go do them. So that's going to be my focus. Rather than spending the money on animals and kit for the animals, I'm going to spend it on farm equipment and land. But just keeping an eye on the harvesting contract there. And how I make that split, I'm not sure. But, particularly, saying so much. I'm hoping that we will get some time to do contracts on the oaks once. So we've got the cornfield and we've got the soybean field of our own to harvest on here. There's, I think, 2 more harvesting contracts to finish. Annoyingly, some of the fields that are harvest ready have gone straight to ploughing contracts, which is a bit weird. But, we might do those if we've got enough kit. But then I'm hoping maybe we'll get to spend August 3 over on the oaks doing some big harvesting contracts. And that's where having 2 big combines would be fun. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how things goes. The other thing that I really, really need is more silage trailers, because I think if I'd had 2 silage trailers, I could probably have got away with two tractors carting. But we've got 1 silage trailer and 2 grain trailers, so you know. Said it again, but it's not optimal. It's not optimal. I have installed 4D Modding's latest trailer, which has a silage trailer option, which I'm thinking about using. But getting close to finishing up for the day, just because it's getting a bit dark, and that makes it hard to see. I think I was just filling this last trailer, and then we're going to take everything back to the farm. What I might do in the next video is finish the harvesting contracts and get our soybeans harvested, let the silage ferment a bit, so the space, and then come back and finish this. Or I might finish this off camera, because I can't really use workers to do it with the way I've split the field up, so I might just finish this off camera. And then, yeah, I think probably August 3rd we will head over to the Oaks for some harvesting work. At that point, I probably will want to pick up the service truck that I mentioned, because we will need that, I think. If only for moving the header around and keeping the combine fueled and stuff. Yeah, there's the having the display of how much was in the forage harvester was interesting, but ultimately just interesting, not really something that I was going to make use of. Just checking my notes, sorry, just make sure there wasn't anything that I missed that I wanted to talk about. I'm still working on improving the notes that I write as I edit videos, and as I said, I find silage harvesting like this really hard to make an engaging video, but it's one of my favorite things to do in the game. So it's yeah, I get really excited when I think, oh yeah, I'm silage harvesting today. Actually, it took me 2 days to record this, and then I get, oh, I'm recording me sitting in a forage harvester again. Anyway, so we've done a fair bit of the field. Both of the fermenters are full. We've got about 1.1 million litres off the field so far. I want to say thank you to the patrons and YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Thank you for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, click the like button. Any comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever, stick them below. And I will see you next time on Saxthorpe Farms. Yeah, see, about 1.1 million litres. Pretty good. And the precision farming score has also jumped up. See ya.